Digimon Tamers. Taking technology and programming and converting it into proteins to live out in the real world. This is the kind of stuff they have going on with Digimon Tamers, where they develop their characters in unique ways. Taketo and his character development with Gidamon or Rika and her backstory and her character add a lot of substance out into it. And it was deep as hell and added greatly to the plot and story. This show takes Digimon and builds on it in a way unlike any other Mon show or Digimon show, building on its characters and world, having amazing explanations for these huge plot points and the way Digimon came into the real world. They actually got the director of Serial Experiments Lane to create this show, a Digimon that was psychological. What's he doing here? Well, glad you asked. You see, there is a psychological element to Digimon Tamers. The characters are kind of studied in a way, and some of that believability and realism behind how technology could exist outside the internet is here. They tackled these deep concepts in a profound manner, similar to how Lane tackled other themes in a profound way. They have this level of stuff here in Digimon. This is what makes Digimon stand out. This is supposed to be a goddamn anime, a fucking kid show, talking about computer programs being converted into protein cells. What the fuck? This is some brilliant shit. How the fuck did they even come up with shit like this? Aren't kids supposed to be watching this? In high school, this piqued my interest greatly, as I was a teen watching and understanding science and information in a fucking kids show. What the fuck? Brilliant. The characters are alive and are developed greatly. The relationship between the characters and Digimon are profound as hell. The way they tell its story, it's psychological, even in a Digimon show. You guys do know what a Mon show is, right? And they got this kind of shit helming it. Really incredible attention to detail and storytelling, tugging at your heartstrings and making you care about its world and characters. That's the thing about this show. It does a fantastic job building up the relationship between the Digimon and humans. In this version of Digimon, their world is like ours, where Digimon is a game. However, because of these smart scientists who study technology, they figured out how to convert computer programs into proteins. In other words, yeah, that's how deep they thought. Bringing computer programs to real life. So when Digimon fight, it's life or death. Then you start wondering, is it moral to allow innocent, now sentient creatures to fight? And this is one of the core themes of Digimon. This is what makes it so profound to watch and so incredible and complex for a kid's show. For a kid to see this the way it was originally intended in Japanese especially is amazing. The soundtrack, so good and iconic. From the opening to one of my personal faves, Slash of Life. They did so well. When it comes to other characters like Impmon, he hates the idea of being a pet or a slave to a human, so he rejects interactions with them and bonds. I love this character because if I was a Digimon or Pokemon, if you will, I'd hate having some dick face capture and use me to put up their own ego by having me fight against my will. They actually tackle this in this show. And one of the main keys are these two characters that represent this, Kulumon and Impmon. Each character representing a symbolic representation of bonds and severing. Some crave the bonding with humanity. Others see it as slavery and desire to be free instead. See, the thing about Mon shows like Pokemon is that they claim they want to have a bond with their owner and capture. But the crazy thing is they are kidnapping the poor thing and forcing them to fight. In Tamers, they actually think about this and have people who do know and do it anyway, like Rika, and believe that Digimon are only there to fight while others believe they are companions and would not and do not treat them otherwise. They live side by side, compelling concepts in a kid's show. Did not expect this. The action and character development, the storyline, dude, this fucking storylines are off the fucking chain. You gotta see this shit for yourself. They got the voice actress for Goku from Japan, Masako Nozawa. She bought her A game. Holy shit, it's so good. I thought it was a guy at first, till I recognized her. I think I was 16 at the time, back in 2015. This show that decided to flesh out its world by building on how Digimon come into the real world and how they are people who keep them in check. It's compelling. One side are the kids discovering all this, the other are the adults trying to contain the leaking of Digimon into the real world. The soundtrack, the original Japanese soundtrack, hauntingly good. That soundtrack in the Japanese version is incredible shit. God damn, this show was quality. I mean, who the fuck puts technology and shit in a kid's show? Project and shit. What? That's brilliant. That takes some deep fundamental thinking. Then they always want to develop their characters and build on stories. With the Digimon and Tamers and Digimon have a developed bond over time, and it makes you question, is it right to have them fight like this or not? Then the fights have a lot of emotional impact because of the reasoning for what they're fighting for. Sentience, to be alive and live as their own entity instead of being enslaved by other humans. They're fighting for all this and they're just kids. That's crazy. This profound show stands up to other animations. It's one of my favorites, man. This show is unique and profound. It tackles deep concepts in a kid's show. They never do stuff like this in other shows, especially in America. This is outstanding, and this is what I'm laying down. Next up is Shiki. Stay tuned for more. Tarragon is now out this piece.